almost 2 hours later, and I'm just now getting done with shopping. This is absolutely so ready to go home. So ready to go home. So I was in the store and I noticed this man trying to get up, and he's really fit. He just had knee surgery about 6 weeks ago, and his knees, he had one done and now he had another one done. He is 86 years old. Mind you, he looks great for 86. We had a great conversation about what's going on in the world today and God and how there's only one God, people. You can argue. I won't argue with you. But I will tell you. Anyway, it was a really good conversation. I am just so ready to go home, though. This is only my second store. Again, I'm getting exhausted really, really, really quickly. And it doesn't help that I forgot my glasses at home, which I also think is making my vertigo kind of wonky. Like, I can see fine, but my glasses do help me see farther away, more crisp, and the colors are brighter. So, yeah. Because it was a gradual thing years ago, I didn't even know that, like, I had a vision issue. I was like, oh, wow, everything's much more crisp. Wow, the colors are even brighter. And my, doctor, does my eyes. He's like, yeah. So, and also, too, since I had a ocular migraine years ago, it was probably like a few years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I don't know. Ever since I had that, just things are different. I know that I have those ocular migraines in my sleep. I do. Because I know when I wake up in the morning, I feel it, definitely. So it's not just a waking thing. I got all kinds of stuff going on. Sometimes I feel like I have all this stuff going on, so I'm more understanding to others and how I can help other people, because I know from my own experiences what they maybe or maybe not going through. I mean, we're all different, but anyways, I'm blabbering. Anyway, I'm just a lot of feeling today. Being an empath, sometimes it can be exhausting. It's exhausting sometimes, actually often. Just, there's a whole lot of fog going on in the store today. Everyone's so sweet and helpful, though, and not one rude person. I did see 2 people today wearing one of those things over their faces, though. That's different. So maybe they're wearing it to protect us from something else. Yeah. So, I don't know. But we have an awesome God, and I'll be fine. I wasn't close to those people or whatever. So, anyways, I got my hands washed when I got in the truck. Of course, I'll touch everything else that I've touched outside the truck. Again, we're there in that mindset today. Because it's that season, too, with, like, colds and flu and just the other stuff, So, anyway, we're going to have a conversation, and then I'm going to read an article. Hey, y'all. Good morning. It's about 10:40. By the time you get this video, I'll already be home and have groceries put away. Yesterday, I went out to go do grocery shopping, and things that happened the way they did. I went to one place, and I ended up coming home and leaving the rest of the shopping for today. So, yesterday, I went out to go get some cheap paintbrushes for oil painting, because I've been following this guy for a while now, and I like his idea, the way he uses his brushes for oil painting, just the cheap old brushes, and you de-hair them and all that stuff, because I've been finding, and that's not what this video is about, but I've been finding some of the expensive brushes are just not worth the money, because they're horrible. They're just horrible. Some are really good. I love my Bob Ross brushes, But other brushes, they're full of hairs. Well, anyways, the reason I'm doing this video is because going back to 2020, now I'm going to be speaking from experience from up here. And I'm sorry, I'm driving in the truck, heading to the store. And halfway there, I decided that I'm going to start this in the truck. So, going back to 2020 from my experience, okay, this is what I saw, and this is what I want to put out here today. When the thing happened in 2020, people here, and this is when I was on the Facebook and stuff like that, people started saying, and we were just out that day and, you know, weeks before and days before, and everything was fine. And oddly, I had gone and done this huge grocery shopping just because I felt like it. I felt like I needed to do this. And it was weird because right after that, boom. But during that time afterwards, it still took a little bit, but it also happened very, very fast. So we were already prepped up, but still, in my opinion, it wasn't enough. So, like, my mom and my dad and my brother and sister-in-law and my kids, we all got together. We all went shopping together. So, and whoever wasn't with us, we grabbed some extra stuff. So, anyways, point I'm trying to get at is, yeah, there is a point. My thoughts are just everywhere, and I'm also trying to keep my eyes and focus on the road. So what we saw here was failure to communicate. Just kidding. We communicated really well. So people saw while at restaurant military trucks coming to Lowe's, our grocery stores, Walmart, Home Depot, different places. So there's restaurants near those locations, and people, while sitting or in their parking lot going into and from their vehicles, they saw military trucks. So they started spreading that about. And a couple of people who knew stuff and got in contact with other people told us and others that you better get this, you better get that, because this is happening. I got tingles because at that point, it took us about 3 weeks in to figure out what was happening. But at that point, during that first 3 weeks was just like crazy. But what they did, and this is the point I'm coming to, what they did, okay, was the military came up here and further up to get supplies out of each store's warehouse, okay, the in-store storage, and brought it to the city because there's more people there. And then what happened was we were short, so we had what we had left on the shelves, and that was it. You know, so if you've got 30 cans of soup and 10 people go in and get 3, it's gone. And that was with everything. So, people, I tell you, they're going to take care of the cities because there's more people. I don't know the other reasons that is, but that's what they did in 2020, is they took from us out in the rural communities, in the semi-rural, and they brought it to the city. Also, we weren't getting shipments after that because they were supplying the city and they weren't supplying us. So, that's what happened. That's what will happen again. Gas. And that's the point I want to get to, is with the gas. So average New York State is about $3.89. I think we're about $3.95, $3.99. Yeah. So the gas, because of what's going on in Palestine countries and Israel, yeah, you can think, okay, we'll just get our gas from Russia, or we'll get our gas from wherever. But New York State already has a limit on gas from before, because everybody made a run for the gas. So they, per vehicle, so if you have 2 vehicles or 3 vehicles, whatever, if you have 1 vehicle, you're allowed 20 gallons of gas. 4 cans of 5 gallons each. That's it. Per vehicle, though. So if you have 2 vehicles, you're allowed 40 gallons of gas. However, the city is only allowed 2.5 gallons. Yep. So, that's not just gas. It's all fuel. Your propane, your oil, your diesel, all of it. Not only is it going to go up as the way things are going. I'm not saying it's going to, but I'm saying plan like it is. And also plan for the shortage of gas. So when there's a shortage, things go up. It's just inevitable. It's what happens. So as I sit here with the truck running, get your gas. Get your propane if it has not been already filled up, which it should be. Now, back years ago, I told everyone to go and get their propane and whatever fuel oil they used to heat their homes, because it was going to go up. That video got like flagged yellow because of what I was saying, and I showed a picture of a truck, and I had also talked to the people who I've known for a really long time within that company, and they just called me actually a couple weeks ago and told me some things, and they said to fill up now. Yeah. So she called me personally to tell me that. I talked to Bigfoot. He said, no bother. We've got fuel. We're not going to be getting any more because we're going to be doing our wood, more wood than we did prior. So, I haven't really been feeling that great. I am out, so I am mobile and I'm able to do things, but I have to be careful when I do things and for how long. My autoimmune, all my flares are just crazy. My GI system is pretty much on the fritz completely. And I believe there's things that I'm doing that I shouldn't be doing, which are not helping or even maybe causing a flare. So I'm doing what I know that I can do because I've been through this before. But it does not make it any easier. I get tired really easily. I'm taking my vitamins, and what I'm not taking for vitamins, I'm doing with, intake of food, drink, this, that, the other thing. So like I have a bruise on my foot from dropping something off of my bed. It wasn't even heavy. It was actually it was not even heavy, but it hit my foot and my bruise is just like, whew. So I know that my iron, I'm one of those borderline irons. Now a doctor will tell you, well, if you're borderline, you're iron deficient. I've had iron issues, like kind of bounce over that line. So, with the anemic and the bruising and the stuff. So of course I took, my B12 and got my magnesium and zinc and the C and just all that stuff. But I'm not going to be intaking all these crazy vitamins because that's not good for you either. Yeah. So it's been since June or July, I can't remember, that this has been going on, off and on, more on than off. So on a personal note, I have to be really close to home and really close when I'm at home to other rooms because it's just the way it is. So, there would be like a lot of things that people can say, and this is like a really crappy subject, but it's like everything I eat just goes. And the things that bind you up, see, I have to be careful because I have diverticulitis. So no seeds right now, no nuts, things like that, because, and I know, take in this, take in that, do this, do that. But see, I can't get bound up either, or that's dangerous for me. So I don't want to pop. If anyone knows about diverticulitis, then you know what I'm talking about. But, you know, my stomach flap doesn't close all the way. And I have acid reflux and GERD, whatever, gastroesophageal reflux disease. And I've got colitis and ulcerative colitis and microscopic colitis and just all the stuff, inflammatory bowel disease and just the stuff. So when I have a flare, it's just bad. It's just bad. So, and you can tell because like my skin is not tight and I've got the spots worse than usual. And last night I got the itching really, really bad, and the autoimmune stuff is just, yeah, something's going on with my body somewhere, and it's just, it's attacking itself. Yeah. And I've had all the tests. I've been to nuclear med. I've had brain scans every 3 months. And this is in the past. I mean, I don't do that anymore by my choice, because there was just too many hands in the cookie jar. Too many. And I was just constantly going to the doctors, and they were constantly putting me in capsules and going zzz, but knock. Yeah, so that raised my anxiety more. So since I haven't been going, I actually feel better. And it's been years. And now I just have to deal with this flare. So that's what's been going on with me. That's why it's hard for me to be around a lot. That's why it's hard for me to be on screen and be on lives, because I never know when I have to go run to the bathroom. Yeah. So I know it's personal, but that's what's going on with me. Yep. So, I know what I need to do. Some of it I'm not doing. I know what I need to not do. Some of it I'm doing. So I have to deal with that. I have to figure this out. And I need to say, okay, this is what I need to do. This is what I need not to do. And then go from there. Right. Okay. So I'm going to read this article. Let's get to this article, okay? A gas supply limit for New York State, okay? Now take that with a grain of salt. Because, let me get this to slide up here, jeez. For New York State residents. So the war in Israel is changing many things across the globe. And there are some who are watching how it will affect markets and the price of things we need to use. New York State has certain laws that are already in place that limit the amount of gas anyone can have in their possession and on their property. That happened last year. Maybe it was the year before, but I think it was last year because they were thinking about what happened in 2020. The last time we saw gas prices soaring to the $5 level, people were panic buying and stockpiling up on gas and diesel. The price of gas is hovering around $3.89 in Western New York and Buffalo area. That's about 5-6 hours from here. However, with the current war in the Middle East and the threat for a limited supply, there are some who fear that it may soon change. But what if you wanted to start stockpiling gas for your cars, lawnmowers? Pretty soon it's going to be winter. You're going to need your snow blowers, your plow trucks. So what are you allowed to do in New York State? There are actually multiple laws and restrictions you need to keep in mind and follow, because upstate is different than New York City. So New York as a whole has its laws, but then there's separate laws for the city opposed to lower level upstate and upper level up. I know Cashew likes to say when I say upstate. So transportation of fuel shall be accompanied by portable fuel cans with a maximum capacity of 5 gallons each, or cargo fuel tanks. All containers shall be properly labeled, obviously. Gasoline shall only be transported in approved 5-gallon portable gas cans with a limit of 4 cans per vehicle. That gives you 20 gallons per vehicle to store back, okay? So you can fill your truck, your car. Like if you have one vehicle, like I said earlier, if you have one vehicle, you can fill that vehicle. Then as well as filling that vehicle, you can do 4 gas cans, 5-gallon gas cans, fill them up to put back in wherever you keep them, your garage, a shed, wherever. Hopefully you're not keeping them inside your house or a basement or attic. Don't do that. Do not do that. Look up the safety regulations in storing your gas. You know, you got to have your stabilizer, your dry gases, all that stuff. And you're going to have a lot of things that take oil and different kind of oil. You got your 2 strokes, your 4 strokes. I mean, you got your, any time of the year, you're going to be using like a chainsaw. So you need those things that, you know, because you have to have an oil gas mix for chainsaws. Unless you're one of those people who has one of those electrical ones. So, in the city, you're allowed 2.5 gallons. So remember, buy only what you need, use what you got, store away from your home and your well water. If something gets knocked over by an animal or another human being on your property, and that gets into your well water, you're in trouble. When it comes to actually stockpiling, there are some places that have very specific rules pertaining to the amount of gas. So for storing more than 1 to 5 gallon, and National Fire Protection Association, that's national, purposes of limiting 25 gallons. So no matter what state you're in, per the National Fire Protection Association, they're saying a limit of 25 gallons. Local fire code determines whether your stockpile is legal. But in New York City, for example, you can't keep more than 2.5 gallons. What is that going to do? 2.5 gallons. That's not even enough for like a power outage for your generator. Oy. So, unfolding dynamics between Israel and Iran and global oil markets post recent attacks dive into immediate impacts, U.S.-Iran relation and long-term oil supply implications. It's gonna, and then there's Russia and all these places that people think, oh, we'll just get our gas from here, there, and everywhere. And then even in Alaska, I mean, we're shipping that out. We're not even using it. They're just taking our supplies and bringing it out, and then we're getting it in. We need to keep it home. We are completely self-efficient at home. When I was talking with that man who's 86 years old, he said, we the people really messed up. And he doesn't know if we can get it back, but he leans on God like we do. So he knows that God has this, but he thinks that God is going to get really angry, you know, really, really upset. His wrath, I'm telling you. But again, it's, yeah. He said they really messed up when he was younger. And we, too, have really messed up. I mean, this has gone so far and beyond. I'm not saying it's not fixable, because everything is always fixable, especially through God. But people just doing what they do is in fixing things. They're not fixing much. They're creating more issues. So, guys, I just got to tell you to stockpile up on your gas as much as you can, because this administration is, okay, They lowered the gas prices by 11 cents in some places. They're going to raise them. They always do that, almost always do that just before something shoots up. They already planned on doing this fall and winter. But now this is their excuse to do it. And think about this. When you have gas prices and the shortages of fuel and people not wanting to bring fuel or get fuel to where it needs to go, where we're going to be getting our fuel from, certain people are going to be like, nope, and they're going to go, shh. And I'm sure you can understand what I mean by that. They're going to make sure we don't get it. Do you understand? But in this country, we are fully sustainable if they want us to be. See, do we have a say? I mean, we were doing that back in 2016. We had everything at home, just about. We were getting there. Our country is great. We are strong. The division needs to stop. All of it. And it won't, I know. But you know what? Even if you can't agree with each other, I think that you can agree on certain things to make this happen. For your children, for our children, for your grandkids. Everyone is feeling it. Everyone is feeling it. And right now, with what is happening over there, okay, and around the world, I don't have faith in this administration to fix this. We, the people, need to stand up and focus on what we need to do. And people, you got to look to God. You got to look to God. You got to read your Bible. I need to be in God's word more. You know, my husband's in there all the time. And I'm not in there enough. We are not in there enough. Trust me, we are not. Because we wouldn't have so many issues on things if we were. So, anyways, get your gas, get your propane, get your oil, get stocked up. Because they're going to be controlling it more than they are now. Have a blessed day. No fear, no worries. Just get prepared. Out in the truck, there's a big metal with like the two prongs that like go on the big head of the push broom. So I got a good one. I went and I got 8 brushes, cheap ones, for oil painting. And I got socks and Gorilla and gloves. Went to the Home Depot and started looking for sales. I went for those. And then check this out. Check this out. I don't know why I'm intrigued by this, but I am so intrigued. If I could just do this with one hand. Bam. I'm like super intrigued. And then you lift it up and you smash in these sides again. And bam, it's a crate again.